What's up, guys? Buddy Berg here with another video. I've been chomping at the bit to do this video. I was at work yesterday and it's playing out in my head. I couldn't even concentrate on what I was doing because all I could think about is this video, and I kept adding stuff to it because there is some juicy stuff in this video. Now, I gotta get done, get all this juicy stuff in and get to this party. I have people coming over here at, I believe, 2 o'clock. It's now 9 minutes to 1. My girl's gonna kill me. She already opened the door and yelled down the steps. So I had to stop the other video and start again. So let's get this thing started. So we all know that the Steelers released 6-time Pro Bowler David Decastro a few days ago. David Decastro is not someone that was going to be easy to replace. Now, when I heard that the Steelers had signed 5-time Pro Bowler Trai Turner, I'm thinking, okay, we should be good. 5 Pro Bowls. David had 6. Okay, seems pretty close. So I'm comfortable. So I'm thinking, okay, you know what? Let me go on Pro Football Focus. Let me take a look at their numbers. I know Trai was hurt last year. I know he missed at least 5 games with a groin injury. We all know Decastro was hurt last year too, and obviously continues to be hurt. That's why the release happened. So when I looked at the numbers were obviously bad for last year. So I thought, you know what? Trai Turner's numbers are bad for last year. Decastro's numbers were down for last year. The unit as a whole, as far as our offensive line, were down for last year. So I thought, you know what? Let's not even look at last year's stats. Let's look at 17, 18, and 19. We'll add those up, and we'll divide them, and we'll get a number that way. That should give us a better idea of what type of player we're talking about here in Trai Turner, because obviously, as an offensive lineman, I didn't know much about him. So when I did that, I got worried. When I started digging into these numbers and comparing these two, I got shook. And I'm like, wow. The numbers are way off. And I thought to myself, what the hell are we going to do? This guy is not good enough to replace David Decastro. David's numbers, even hurt last year, are better. And I'll give you a few numbers off here. Decastro's overall rating for 17, 18, and 19 were 71.1, a 74.8, and a 90. So I went in reverse order. The 90 was 17, the 74.8 was 18, and the 71.1 was 19. So you could see his play, you could see it drop as he was getting older. But still, those are still really good numbers. And I looked at Trai's. They're not awful, but they're not on Decastro's level. So 2017, he had a 72.6. Not bad. Not Decastro's, which in 17 he got a 90. 67.9 he had in 2018. And a 63.9 in 2019. Now, it worries me a little bit because not only are the numbers not as good as Decastro's, his are, you can see year to year, they're dropping, they're declining. So I thought, you know what, before I get too upset, let me take a look at our entire offensive line's numbers. Because obviously, it is not fair to compare Trai Turner to David Decastro. David Decastro is not only a 6-time Pro Bowler. You know, anybody can make the Pro Bowl. James Conner made the Pro Bowl. Not that he shouldn't be proud of making it 6 times, but, I mean, anyone can make the Pro Bowl. What really makes you a stud is when you're an All-Pro. Decastro made All-Pro twice. So he was a 2-time first-team All-Pro. So he didn't just make All-Pro twice. He made first-team All-Pro. That's stud material there. Straight stud. So, let me get back on track. So, I went and I looked at our entire starting offensive line's numbers. And I did the same thing that I did with Turner and Decastro. I did 2017, 18, and 19. Added them up, and divided them, and came up with an average. Now, I don't think I ever told you their exact averages. Decastro's average over those 3 years was a 78.6. Turner's was a 68.1. 10-point difference. It's pretty big. So, let me go over here, this other list where I did the rest of the line. So, Pouncey, 17, 18, and 19. It's not even necessary to tell you all the numbers. I don't want to bore you with all these numbers. His average number was 65.5. 65.5. That's lower than Turner's. I was shocked. Big Al's was 76.8. Pretty good number. Matt Filer, 74.5. Not bad. Ramon Foster, 63.4. A light went on. I thought, you got to be kidding me. You know, I didn't even realize that 2 of our linemen's numbers weren't very good. They weren't very good. Because I'm pretty sure most of you feel that 2017, 18, and 19, I feel like we had a pretty good offensive line. We ran the ball a hell of a lot better in those years than we did last year. That's for damn sure. So I think to myself, you know what? I'm looking at this all wrong. I'm looking at it wrong. Trai Turner will never be David Decastro. He just never will be. But can he be our Ramon Foster? Can he be our Marquise Pouncey as far as the average numbers? You're not going to have a stud at every spot. And you don't need a stud at every spot. So once I did these numbers and looked at these averages, I felt a lot more comfortable. Because I'm thinking, we have our David Decastro. Kevin Dotson is going to be our David Decastro. We don't need Turner to be our David Decastro. We already have our new David Decastro. And let me roll into the juicy stuff. Let me roll into the juicy stuff. Kevin Dotson. Kevin Dotson, who we all thought, and I still believe, will anchor this offensive line into the future. But 3 or 4 days ago, DK Sports releases, I guess you could say, breaking news, definitely in Pittsburgh, that's for sure, that coaches were unhappy with Kevin Dotson. More specifically, they said they were unhappy with his conditioning. Now, when I first heard that, I thought, but, I'm going to take this with a grain of salt. This is one channel saying this. Well, before you know it, there was a second channel, and a third channel, and a fourth channel, and the thing blew up. And everybody's been talking about Kevin Dotson and the Steeler coaches and DK Sports for breaking this news. DK Sports has been hammered for this. DK Sports has been hammered for this. In fact, I conversed back and forth with DK Sports because I commented on his video and just told him I was going to take it with a grain of salt. And then he got back to me, and I know he caught a lot of flack for this. I read some of the comments in his comment section. He's not a fly-by-night channel. I'm a fly-by-night channel. Excuse me. I'm the one just getting started. DK has been around for years. He has legitimate sources. So I thought it was unfair for the general public to get on him the way they did. I definitely thought it was unfair because he's earned his stripes, and he broke some juicy news for us, and we should have appreciated him for it. But so as far as this Kevin Dotson thing is concerned, you know what? The way I feel about this whole Kevin Dotson thing, there's 3 sides to every story. His side, their side, and what really happened. The truth always lies somewhere in the middle. Do I think the coaches were unhappy with him to some degree? I do. When there's that much smoke, there's some fire somewhere. This thing was no way total bullshit. No, there's no way with all that smoke was this total bullshit. I definitely believe there was something to this. So, what I think happened was, I don't think that it was an accident that this news just happened to break right after minicamp had finished. I believe that Steeler coaches leaked this story purposely to motivate to motivate Kevin Dotson. In fact, this has been one of Tomlin's little go-to things that he has done for years. I don't want to get off track here, but I have mixed feelings about how I feel about Mike Tomlin as a head coach. But as far as being a motivator, he is definitely a great motivator, and his fingerprints are all over this. I believe they leaked that to motivate Dotson. I don't think he was out there, I don't think he stunk. I don't think it was anything like that. When you have high expectations of someone and they come in and they didn't improve at all from last year, or maybe even a slight step backwards, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed because you had high expectations of him. And I believe that this was leaked for Dotson to kind of stew about this for the next, I'm not even sure, training camps in August at some point. So Dotson will have, what, a month and a half to think about this and probably work his ass off. Because if it was me and they said that about me, first thing I'd want to do is hit those weights, hit that treadmill, start grinding, and prove them all wrong. So hopefully that's what Kevin does, and hopefully this story ends up just dying out, and Kevin comes in looking like the thoroughbred we know he is. So with that, I better get out of here. I got to get ready for this party. Thanks for listening. I've really been looking forward to doing this video because I had a strong opinion on what I felt happened with this Kevin Dotson situation, because oftentimes a lot of people either take one side or the other. And like I said before, there's always three sides to every story. Truth lies somewhere in the middle. And with that, thanks a lot. Hit that like button, subscribe. Buddy Berg, out.